In Phase 1, we see the subject has engaged with the puzzle for the first time. He sees it, he realizes it, and he begins to experiment with his options, trying to branch out his skill set to solve the quandary. Let us observe the subject as he optimistically dives headfirst into this mental challenge. The Witness is a game by Jonathan Blow, the creator of Braid. And it's about being on like a weird island filled with like hundreds of puzzles. And that's like it. Are we done here? Can I go home? Wait, I am home? Alright, I'm gonna go play Black Desert. Hey there, thank you very much for what? Wait, there's more? Alright, well, okay, I guess there's more. Now, as simple as that premise is, there's a whole lot of depth to this game about puzzles. It pushes your ability to decipher and crack hundreds of the things, all based on the same simple design. Draw a line on a grid from one end to like the other, and then you're done. It's a simple system of mazes made more complicated by the addition of rules, context, even environmental systems, which can transform this simple system that isn't massively complex into like the kind that makes you want to rip your hair. Just work! Just work! Like what? The complexity of these puzzles skyrockets as time progresses, eventually to the point where you're like deciphering complex symbols and making clever use of the environment in a vain attempt to crack the code. And there's some that can just be like maddeningly difficult. And the puzzles make up like the lion's share of gameplay. But there is some other things to do in The Witness. For example, the entire island is really one big puzzle. The game itself is one big puzzle to decipher. That and there's like walking between other panels. That's also something fun to do. Enjoying the sights and the deafening sounds of silence and crippling loneliness. This game is a little close to home. As you can see, we have reached Phase 2. After many hours, the subject has turned to drinking in order to calm himself down. The puzzle is defeating him, but he soldiers on, knowing that he must solve the puzzle if he ever wishes to be sane again. The world of The Witness is constrained to a small island with a number of starkly changing biomes. It doesn't take too long to walk from one end to the other, and each area has its own kind of set of puzzles with their own rules. There are some areas that blend different puzzle mechanics, and there's secrets like all over the place. This game's secrets have secrets. One thing that immediately strikes you about this game world, though, is that it's like silent and empty. You're not even greeted by the sounds of local wildlife and birds, except for like one spot where they're part of a puzzle. The island is just devoid of life. Somebody! Anybody? Hello? You can all come out. I brought donuts. If there are people here, you can have donuts. As time goes on, this silence becomes somewhat discerning and encapsulates the game's feeling of isolation and mystery. The scenery is gorgeous, though. Striking, vibrant, varied, begging you to explore every nook and cranny. Oh, finally a person. Hey, buddy, you doing okay? You look a little bit stoned. Oh God, please respond to me. The game's beauty and its gameplay forcing you to explore and discover really complement each other really well. Even when you come up against a puzzle that like fries your brain, like all of them, you push through it to find out more about this strange place. It begins to kind of serve as its own reward. But the theming is what really drives this game to greatness. A concept, at least in my interpretation, which supersedes its puzzles, its world that actually extends beyond the game itself. It seems we have reached Phase 3 and the breakdown is beginning. The subject is no longer capable of sleeping. He sees nothing but the puzzle when he closes his eyes. It's dawn already and the subject is just realizing he hasn't got a wink of sleep, but he must get back at it, for that puzzle needs to be solved. There's a lot to think about in The Witness. This game is chock full of philosophical quotes, video clips, and metaphorical imagery, all designed to have the player asking questions. The game is ambiguous, presenting the smallest scraps of its narrative, mixed in with a lot of really heavy-handed metaphor. That is in fact a really roundabout way of saying that I have no real idea what is going on here. What I can glean from the game's systems comes from the game itself. At least one interpretation of how the core concept of the witness is expressed directly to the player through gameplay. So like, get yourself a silk robe, pour yourself a glass of $300 wine and some of those little cheese squares with like toothpicks in them, cause we're about to get super pretentious. I get it, like, some of you may be completely uninterested in the verbal waterfall of weird ideas about to spew through your speakers or headphones. I don't know your life. So here on the side, I've got like a picture, I don't know, like Quiet from Metal Gear. And I guess 3 to 5% of you are women, so here's Armstrong from Full Metal Alchemist. I know what women want. The Witness strikes me as a game about knowledge, truth, and understanding. It portrays this in a number of ways, but the most ready and probably the most interesting way it does so is through gameplay. To put it simply and to boil it down to its most basic concepts, The Witness is a Metroidvania. In a Metroidvania, you explore the world and obtain power-ups through gameplay, which allow your character to progress through the game world. The Witness does this as well, in a way, though it does not do it through virtual upgrades to your in-game avatar, but instead knowledge, provided directly to you, the player. As you progress across the island, puzzles will present themselves with different rules, and the only way to advance through these areas is to explore, contemplate, and learn these rules through experimentation. This experience feels different than just learning how to kill a certain monster in a game like, say, Axiom Verge, which is literally just a Metroidvania. Learning is somewhat the byproduct in that situation. Your understanding is for the game's sake. In The Witness, we learn for learning's sake. Knowledge is the desired outcome, and with this knowledge, we are empowered, both to continue exploring and continue learning. This provides an interesting basis for the game's design and concepts. But is it true? Is the idea of learning portrayed through the game's mechanics, and is it core to the game? I don't know. The game weighs heavily on ideas like interpretation or understanding. It's a philosophical undertaking, one that challenges you to think, not simply to overcome, but to discern real truths. Did any of that make any sense? I don't know, my brain is so fried from doing these puzzles. I can't even tell. Don't worry, I'm done talking pretentious now. Is The Witness a good game? Well, yes, I'd say it definitely is. It's a good puzzle game. It's challenging with a lot of depth for those interested in exploring said depth, or just a lot of puzzles that make your thinky spot sore. Either way, for people who like puzzle games or people who really love a cerebral experience, it's a good time. Though if you're looking for like action or like a story or anything to happen, I'd give it a pass. I'm gonna go get some Advil because all this thinking has made my head hurt. I will see you all next time. Finally, we reach the final phase of the puzzle, where the subject either breaks down into total insanity or has the needed epiphany required to crack this code. But it looks like this time he's done it. He's managed to crack the puzzle and move on to the next. Fortunately for him, he has 580 some more tries to go. Good luck, subject! Why, hello there, everybody. My name is Matthew Carson, the Orange Hatter, and I hope you have enjoyed this episode of the Orange Hatter Show on The Witness. Whew, breathe. Thank you very much for watching. I hugely appreciate it. I just want to let you know that today's episode was brought to you by Alex Bowman and Alex Boyce of Alex and Alex Attorneys at Law, faithfully serving the Alex community since 1761, and Fish Fins Fish Market, where there is definitely something fishy going on. If you are interested in supporting the channel, please like or subscribe. It means a huge amount to me, and it's awesome. But thank you very much again for watching, and you all have a great one.